Okay, so we're starting. Am I audible to everyone? We don't have much people left here, so if people sitting in the back don't want to come in front, that will really encourage me. Please, folks, just four of you, so please come in front. Thank you. Okay, so my name is Kaushik Khatua, and I am the engineering manager for Microsoft Store, and I'm here to convince you folks why Store is the right business partner for you to come and join and use Store to distribute your apps. Okay. Just a little bit of background about me. I used to be a game developer just like you before I worked in Microsoft, and I have worked in the gaming industry for almost a decade and created games just like you and released. And so I know exactly what I'm talking about when I say Soul is the best place to come for you. And I'm right now on the other side of the table, but I know exactly what the game developers want in a distribution partner. Okay. So with that, let me give you some numbers on what is Store all about and what is the reach of Store. So Microsoft is a big brand. You all of you know what is Microsoft's business, but these are some of the numbers, right? Billion plus annual downloads. We have a presence in more than 240 different countries. We have support for more than 100 languages, and we have a lot of incentives for you to come and partner with us. The main point that I'm trying to make here is the numbers are not important. The point I'm trying to make here is Microsoft is huge, Windows is huge. We have more than 1.4 billion active users on Windows. It's a huge untapped market for you to come and partner with and see where that takes your business, right? Now I'm going to show you some of the things that are going to compare the features that you get when you come on store versus if you distribute your app on your own website. I'm not going to go through all of them because it is going to take more than 1 hour. But some of these we will be covering in more detail as I go forward. I'll give it a minute. Now let's go a little bit deep into one of the major things you get when you come to shows. That is security. So if you all of you know that if you use the open web to distribute your binaries, there is a risk of infection of malware, viruses, and potentially unwanted apps, right? And we are really big on security. We want to make sure that the ecosystem is really safe. We have a partnership with more than 10 different antivirus engines. We do rigorous testing, not just for malware, but also for unwanted applications, bundleware, and anything which is of low quality. And we ensure that the end product that is delivered to your users is really good and high quality, which means if there is a badge on your website which says get our game from the Microsoft Store, users will be able to trust it, even if you are a very small company, right? That is one. The second thing that I'm going to talk about is revenue. Now, all of you know, for any startup, the biggest thing, what is the biggest thing for any startup? Customers, right? No, revenue, right? I'm just joking. Of course, it's customers, but what we're trying to say here is that instead of the 70-30 split, which is very common in some of the other competitors, we are going with 88% cut, which means you get to keep 88% of the net revenue that you make in store. We only take 12% because we want to ensure that we are able to return back most of the revenue to you so that you can actually expand your business on store. We are not in this business to make money from store. That is not our motive. We want to ensure that we are able to give the right platform for you to distribute your games and apps to the Windows user base, and we want to provide a safe ecosystem. That is the reason we are not charging very high commissions. Now let's talk a little bit about discoverability. All of you know it's very difficult to crack discoverability on app stores. Why? Because every day thousands of new games come, thousands of new apps are launched, right? It's difficult to get the exposure you need on stores. Now here where we help you is We of course have many different ways to promote your app with paid advertising in different formats. And not only paid advertising, but also we have provisions where if your app or game is of really high quality, we can get you channels and we can get uh, correct surfaces for your app to get promoted in without any cost on your side, so that your app can get the right exposure at the right time with the right audience who would not just download your game but also be interested to play your game. I'm going to touch more in the upcoming slides on retention. And if you're still not convinced, some of the icons I have put here, we have much more. Uh, so the name, all of you know many of these apps. We are working with many more. Since today morning, I have personally interacted with almost 35, 40 different companies who want to come and work with us. So we invite all of you to come have a talk with us. We have a booth in A6, and please come and join us. Let's see where we can work together and where are our synergies. Okay, now let's dive a little bit deeper into some of the features. We are not going to be covering all of the features in this line plot. So the first thing is experimentation. What is that one thing which is the most important asset that your app or game has, which has a direct impact on your users' interest? Your app's icon or your game's icon, right? Your competitor might have a much worse app or a very bad game, but if their icon is somewhat significantly better, they will get more downloads. The worst part of this icon thing is it is very difficult to judge because it is a subjective problem of which icon is supposedly better looking to the end user, right? And that is why we are giving you the option to actually experiment with different variations of your icon and screenshots. I'll touch upon that later. So that you can actually figure out which is the exact app icon which is resonating well with your specific user base. So, for example, if you have a game which is kind of a casual bubble shooter kind of a game, maybe colorful graphics will work better for you. If you have a hardcore shooting game like Call of Duty, maybe darker colors will work better for you. You can keep on experimenting until you find the best icon. Now, icon is the first step, right? But once you click and you go inside, then the next thing which is going to help your users decide whether to download your game is screenshots. And we are going to give you the opportunity to experiment with your screenshots also. And we have a very well developed dashboard that will show you exactly which variant of your icon, which variant of your screenshot is performing exactly how much well. And based upon this data, you can decide which version should be your final version. This is all free of cost, by the way. And now let's talk about a little bit of how do we support beta testing. Now let's say you already have a game, it is working really well, you have really good user base, engagement is fine, retention is going through the roof. Now you want to do some new features, which is brand new. Would you rather risk it all by just launching it to 100% of the users? Probably not, right? You would want to test it out with a limited set of users first, and only then you should be able to release it. So that is why we are giving you the support for package flighting, where you can have your main game running as usual to your 100% of user base, and then you can have a variant B of your binary or your package, and then you can test it with a limited set of users, find out the bugs, fix them, have your version ready. Only when you are 100% sure, then you can launch to your entire user base. Okay. So let's touch upon one of the biggest USPs that you will have if you come to store rather than through open web, which is rich analytical data. Now we have many different reports that we are not going to be able to cover today, but we'll cover some of the reports. For example, the first one we are going to cover is acquisition report. So this is going to give you an idea of how your user acquisition channel is looking like. So for example, if you look at the screen, the blue bar on the top is talking about the number of page views you are getting on your product page on the Microsoft Store, the impressions. And the next bar, which is red in color, is showing you how many of those people who come to your product page are actually clicking on the download button. And then the yellow bar on the bottom of that is showing you how many of them are able to successfully download the game. There is a small difference of 1 or 2% maybe because the internet went out, the light went out, there were some network issues. And the last one, the green color bar, is showing you after installation how many of your users actually opened the game, right? Because only installation is not important, we want people to engage also. Now let's talk about health report. You know, ratings and reviews play a very vital key part in users to decide whether this is a good game or not, or whether we should download it or invest in it. Right? And the quality of your app is going to be significant to determine whether your app gets a good rating. So we give you the data on how many crashes are happening, exactly which kind of crash is really happening in your app, and we also give you full access to stack traces and gap files so that you can actually debug on your end and fix the problem and then roll it. Okay, now this is the one I was talking about, which is engagement with the app. We want engaged users, engaged players in your app. So we want to give you full access to not just download numbers, but how people are actually engaging with your app. We are going to give you the engagement session length in minutes. We are also going to give you the number on sticky factor, which is your daily active and your monthly active ratio. We are going to give you how many new users are coming in your game, so on and so forth. So that you can understand the retention profile of your game. Okay. Now let's talk about ratings and reviews. You will get a lot of rating every day, so you can see how your app is actually doing on the store. Now these ratings are going to be of different countries, so they are going to be in various different languages. We support automatic translations of those reviews into your native language so that you can actually understand them. Also reply back to those reviews from within this dashboard. You also get to see how your app is doing in terms of ratings. Now this is something we rolled out fresh in the store, which is actionable insights. If you get lots of reviews every day and you do not have the time to go through each one of them in detail, what we are doing is we are leveraging the power of AI to group the good reviews and the bad reviews. So the 4 stars and the 5 stars reviews are collected together. We run large language models on them. We understand what is the user sentiment. What exactly are the users loving, right? And then we show this to you. Same thing we are doing for your 1-star review and 2-star review. Basically, what we are trying to do here is you should be able to get it in 1 second what is working for your game and what is not working for your game. The top thing, right? And on the bottom, if you see, you are able to correlate the release dates of your major updates with the major changes in ratings or major changes in install or major fluctuations in crash data. So let's say your crashes suddenly spikes, you should be able to go back and determine this is the problematic release because of which the crashes went up. So, yeah, let me touch a little bit about distribution also. When we say Microsoft Store, we usually mean the store app which is pre-installed on all Windows devices, which is a large number of devices. But we also have a web-based store which gets a lot of traffic, by the way, and whenever you submit your game or app to store, we actually ensure that it is available on the web-based store also, and all the users are able to download it from the web-based store as well. So, yeah, I'm not going to go into a lot of details today, so we are near the end, but if you want to get started on this, this is the link aka.ms/Microsoft Store Developer. The QR code is also here. It will direct you to the same link. We have a booth also. In the expo, it is A6. And if you do not want to, for some reason, get in touch with in person, there is an email address also, reportapp@microsoft.com. So please feel free to email us. And one more thing, Mr. Praveen Prabhu, is sitting here with his laptop, and if you want to give your details, and if you want to really launch your game with the store, you can please give your details to Mr. Praveen, and we will be making the registration entirely free for you. So $20 we will not be charging, and we will handhold you so that your app is actually live in the store at the earliest. Right. So with that, I am at the end, and I am open for any questions. No? Okay, great. Thank you. Once again, my name is Kaushik. I am available at booth A6. Please come and talk with me, and let's see where we can work.